Now, usually I would say welcome to another podcast of the Constitution Manchester United. But for the purposes of this video podcast, it's going to be very different. I'm going to go on a down path in a positive way because I'm going to be covering a subject where I think a lot of persons are very naive to situations, certain or I should say, certain situations where out of footballers, and this goes outside the realms of just football. This goes into basketball, NFL, sports related stuff. Like there are a lot of stuff that a lot of us are not a lot of us, because I'm not naive to it, but a lot of persons, and maybe some of you guys are very naive to it, where there's a situation with a certain footballer and they think it happened just because. There's always a reason behind that just because moment. It doesn't happen because it happened into being or it was spoken into being. There has been a reason for that situation to come and elapse. Like, for example, this video is going to cover the topic watching football from a red pill lens. Watching football from a red pill lens. Now, what do I mean by watching football from a red pill lens? Okay, first of all, let us define the definition of what is a red pill. Now, some of you guys that follow me on Twitter would know that I'm a red pill person, meaning some persons call it, there's different definitions, different synonyms that would go in line in with red pill. Some may call it being woke, some may call it being, being realistic, some may call it being just aware of how society is. And that's how I would coin the term red pill, because red pill is basically this. Red pill is you knowing the truth about how life is, the reality of life, and certain situations that happen in society should not surprise you in any way, shape, or form. Like, for example, I'm no big person in the manosphere. I'm as small as a janitor in terms of the social hierarchy. So there's no need to worry about me because I ain't crap. But I mean, I am in tune with what the manosphere is about, like red pill. Red pill is understanding the reality of the world in terms of like gender, intersexual dynamics, what the reality is about. Like, for example, a lot of persons believe that all policemen, all law enforcement are good people and they play by the book. That is not the case. At least if you're seeing it from a red pill islands. Like, if you watch, okay, I must say two movies. One movie, hold on. One movie is Training Day, with your boy Denzel Washington playing as the policeman Alonzo. Alonzo, a lot of persons were very naive to how policemen work. Like, a lot of persons believe that all policemen are good citizens that look out for the community and they try to protect the community. They are not indulging in no criminal or antisocial behavior. That is an antisocial, naive thought, because in the movie Training Day starring Denzel Washington, he was not a policeman that played by the book. He was not a policeman that played by the book. What he was basically giving game to some young white Caucasian guy that wanted to do police work with him. And he basically told him that, yo, it's a jungle out here, so. It's a jungle out here, so. You cannot play by the book when you're in an altercation or in a situation or confrontation with other, drug lords or killers, because they go kill you. You have to get some dirt on you. What he was basically saying is that if a rule in the police book was to say when you're confronting a killer, you should not shoot him unless so forth, this and happen. A lot of persons might say, okay, well, the police might follow through with that. But Alonso is saying, bro, you have to have some dirt on your shoulder. You have to have some dirt on you. You cannot be a good cop by the book. Because again, by the book rules is theoretic work. When you're in the field, when you're in a practical field, that don't mean anything. I'll say it to you like this. In basketball, I think some of the pre-show before the game started, some persons were looking at, and I think this happens in football as well. Some persons are trying to scope and scout the report of the player, whether it's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or whoever, trying to see his moving tendencies, what his next move going to be like, what is he going to do. And we don't get to lengthy, bro. People might naively think and delusionally think that if they found out all his tendencies, all his whereabouts, where he's going to dribble the ball or shoot at the ball, if he's going to do a fake with the shot or whatever, they naively think they're going to stop Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or whoever. But that's what they would think because they're not on the field. But what they need to understand is that when they're on the field, they will get a feeling of what it's like being in one-on-one with the player himself. And they're saying that if you read these scout reports, you would think that you know everything about Michael Jordan. But he said when you're on the pitch, that is something different. That's why having all the theory, being book educated, doesn't mean anything if you're not aware of the practical work, the practicum work. You see me? Like my boy said, what's his name again? The boxer. I can't believe it. Michael, not Michael. Whatever, I'm forget. But he said, out of persons are the best preparation in terms of a fist fight with me. Yeah, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was saying, out of boxers are the best preparation when they were about to fight me. But he said that all of that went through the window when my fist was at their jaw. That went through the window. So you might be asking me, what's my point? My point is this in relation to this video podcast. Do not be a naive person when it comes on to football, because this is I'm going to look on football and basketball as relates to this video podcast. Do not be naive to how life is. Do not be naive to how life is. Everybody in the police department is not clean. They have dirt on them shoulder. Persons that are in the naked eye in terms of entertainment industry, they have done some inappropriate stuff, but they have gotten away with it because they're up on that high social hierarchy, so they can get away with it. Like there are a lot of actors and persons that own their own business that have done certain stuff that we would sniff our nose at, look away from, raise our eyebrows at, and our ears will be perked like a dog's ears. Like for example, there are some male bosses that have had their way with their female subordinates. That has been happening for like a long time. But some persons are still naive and think that all male bosses control them sexual urges and it's strictly business with their female subordinates. That is not the case. Some persons in the naked eye in terms of Hollywood have had rape allegations and accusations for years. And people think that some of these actors are clean. That's not the facts. But in terms of sports, this is where I'm going to it, because as you guys know, a few of you guys know who have been watching my channel for over a year now. I'm still young in the game. You know that I used to have notes on the left side. I used to write notes in terms of certain situations, certain confirmations and information that's related to Manchester United. But for the purposes of this video podcast, I'm going to be speaking on watching football from a RedPill lens. Why is it that a lot of professional footballers get married? Because I'm going to be relating this to female versus males now. Because the RedPill is on the basis of understanding, number one, female nature, female manipulative nature, and sexual nature. All those three combined. but this is not the channel where I would really specify. But I'm going on a tangent, on a segment, on a digression with this one. One of the mistakes that a lot of persons, again, I play sports but not professionally. A lot of persons have this misconceived, naive notion that if they're in a situation where they can marry a woman, they think that since the woman is coming to them, they think that because they're a professional football player, they're high status, they believe that the woman is naturally and genuinely attracted to them. That is what a lot of persons believe because they believe that, hey, I'm making decent dollars, I'm scoring goals on the pitch, is me, so I can see why these women want me, just for me. That's kind of crazy because you have to understand, if you look, because I have some names right here I'm going to mention. You being famous, you being on cloud nine in terms of your popularity, your social status or whatever, that doesn't stop you from getting run over or screwed over from females. Okay? Like I have one situation right here, and this is where watching football from a red pill lens come into play. See, a lot of persons have been banging on the Chelsea starting goalkeeper, at least previously to having Mendy, is Kepa. Kepa is that stringy, string bean looking dude from Spain, and he's the goalkeeper at Chelsea. When he came to Chelsea, his form has not really replicated his previous form when he was in Spain at his previous club. A lot of persons believe that, well, he's just not a good keeper. He needs to improve his game. And he needs to improve his game because he's a young goalkeeper and he has room to gain experience so he can improve his game. But birds came on my shoulder one morning, and I think I saw the post from Rollo Tomasi, who is a very influential figure in the manosphere. He had this post of the Kepa Chelsea goalkeeper, and a lot of person has been against Kepa's form because they think that due to his poor form, they think that he has a problem with the manager and so forth. Not necessarily. Rollo Tomasi came at it from a different angle, and it was true because based on the form, and this is where you're putting on your red pill lens right now. When you're red pill aware, you understand females, you understand what they do and why they do it, right? With Kepa, his poor form was based on his departure with his ex-girlfriend. That's the reason why he has had poor form ever since. Because when I read the article, it stated that I think he's 25 right now. I can't remember the exact information, but this is what it basically and essentially said in a nutshell. He said that when they were together, his form at his previous club in Spain, it wasn't that poor as it was as it is now when he's at Chelsea. But ever since he split with his girlfriend, his form has declined ever since. It has never been the same. It has never been the same. A lot of persons would believe that Kepa was the one that broke up with his girlfriend. But my thing is this. If he's the one that broke up with his girlfriend, why the hell would his form be negatively affected? Like, why? Because my thing is that if she dumped you, that would explain why your form has declined, has decayed, and your form is decomposing right now. But what you have to understand is that a lot of females out here, and I'm going to go through some names, they're not with celebrities. Most of them. Some of them are not with celebrities just because of the person. They're with the celebrity because of the power the celebrity is in. For example, I would say the same thing with pastors these days. So a lot of pastors, naive pastors, believe that sisters in the church want to be with him just because of him the person. No. Females love guys that has power. Females like guys that have authority. So by virtue of that, they're going to try to hook up with the pastor. Why? Because the pastor is the leader of his package. He's the leader of his community, his colony, and even could be of the country or the church. But what you have to understand is that they are going for the person in power. Person in power. Now, I'm not saying that's unethical. What I'm saying is that they're not with you for you. They're not with you for you. Because see, if a player is going through poor form, if you believe that your girl is with you for you, of course you would think that she's going to snitch it out with you. She's going to rough it out with you. She's going to go through that adversity with you. Do you know that in 1998, the former Brazilian striker Ronaldo was going to play the World Cup finals in 1998 against France. And he had a seizure that early morning. Right? That's seizure that early morning. Do you know that he was forced by sponsors to play that final? Again, he was not in the best physical condition because he had a seizure earlier on. When he lost the finals, when Brazil lost the finals to France, do you know that his woman left him after that? He left him after that. Because number one, he suffered a seizure, like he was foaming at the mouth, like he was just shaking in the morning. Like he got electrocuted. Secondly, he lost the World Cup final. Thirdly, he played crap. So she wrote like, I didn't sign up for this nigga. I signed up for you because I expected you to have a flawless performance. But since you had a full performance, I'm going to get the hell out of here. And that's what she did. So a lot of you guys are think that celebrities that have all of these females out here, so it's with them for them. That is not the case. There are a lot of females out here that actually will marry. Let me repeat this. Let me get closer. Will actually marry a celebrity, a sportsman, a guy in the entertainment industry, and she doesn't have no feelings to him whatsoever, no love and affection, no sexual attraction to him whatsoever. She's after the bag. She's after the nigger's power, authority, his social status. So when certain situations happen in football, you should not be naive to it. You should not be naive to it. When you see certain players underperforming, certain players that have a low head in the game, understand that there's something going around in the background. You might not see it with the naked eye, but when these situations come awry, you should not be naive, gullible, and wet behind the ears. You should know what's up. You see me? Like, for example, Kepa, I think Kepa is probably heartbroken still. You see me? Because I don't think that he was anticipating the breakup. Because after he broke up with his previous club to go to Chelsea, he was not anticipating in waiting for a breaking up from his girlfriend. And that has affected his form ever since. Now, one can argue that she wasn't with him for him. That is one argument. You see me? Another argument you could say is that she was with him, maybe for him, but he did something that kind of rubbed her the wrong way. Again, I'm not going to really go into that because I don't know Kepa like that, and I do have a desire to know Kepa like that because he doesn't play for Manchester United. That's number one. And number two, going back, read number one again. So the thing is that these things should not These things should not cloud the judgment in terms of a player going through a situation that's naive and gullible. Let me just get this out of the way. And I know a lot of professional footballers might watch my video, but I'ma just say it because some of you guys, whether you're younger than me, at my age, or even slightly older than me, I'ma say because I'm still a young guy. When you're a professional footballer, when you're a professional player for that matter, you should not even be considering marriage. You should not be even considering marriage. In the prime, when you're playing football, you should not be even considering marriage. You should treat that like the seventh plague of Egypt and run away with it. You should be a bachelor that's concentrating on your football, and secondly, you should be concentrating on getting some bitches. But the thing is that you should not be intimate with just one partner, or at the most trying to marry one partner. That's setting yourself up for failure. If you look at the divorce laws and divorce courts, you would see that, like for example, Alex Rodriguez was married to this chick a long time ago. And when he left, again, Alex Rodriguez is a guy that used to play baseball. When he was at, I think, Tampa Bay, no, when he was at Rangers, he was with the woman. Now, when he left Rangers, I think that's where his first wife divorced him, or they just divorced. Then call it a equal playing field, and they just split. Then just split like business partners. When he came to the Yankees, you know that this nigga had to pay a a bunch of millions, if not almost a billion, because they split, because of the alimony, because they have a kid together, and he had to pay the kid, pay for the child, pay for the splitting. I'm not even sure if they had a prenup or not. God forbid they don't have a prenup. He doesn't have a prenup. But the thing is that there are females out here that will marry the guy that is on the in. There are a lot of celebrities and rappers that's in demand of females. There are a lot of females that want to get pregnant by a professional player. Not because of himself, that's a small percent. But most of them consider that they're looking for the bag. They're going to get married to a guy they're not really attracted to. But because he's a famous footballer, because he's a status entertainment figure, they figure that, hey, yo, I'm gonna get a kid from this nigga. I want to get the bag from this guy. And when I get the bag from this guy, I'm gonna do road. He's going to pay for my kid. I'm gonna get custody for my kid, and he's going to pay for the splitting the alimony and so forth. A-Rod had to go through that. Now I don't think he's currently paying. But the woman that he split ties with, that she didn't have a job and she had a law degree. A law degree. She didn't have no job. She didn't even want to work. But she's demanding money from Alex Rodriguez, who was at the time in the prime of his career. That's something to consider, bro. There's a lot of guys that believe that, hey, when I'm a professional footballer, I'm going to get all the bitches, I'm going to get all the riches, you know what I mean? And I'm going to have all these women coming after me. Yeah, they will come after you, but it's not because of you, the person. That's my point. As you can see, I have a few notes on my left hand side. But a few things. Okay, I did a video podcast on my other channel. I can't even access the channel because they blocked me. I wouldn't say they blocked me, but I can't access the password of my other channel. It's a RedPill channel. I did a video considering the Atalanta striker Ilicic. Now last year it was said that Ilicic had to be excused from his duties. He had to go on a leave because he found out that his wife was cheating on him. He went to, where's she from? I think he's from Slovenia. And when he went to Slovenia to surprise her, he got a surprise himself. And it was a negative surprise. She was cheating with another guy. I would guess that this guy was like lower than this guy in status. But the fact is that they still had kids, but he got cheated on. And now, because of that situation, it has probably traumatized him into depression. It's because a lot of persons think that, well, I think he's depressed because his side is not winning no trophies. I mean, my guy was like banging goals like bitches like last season. He had like 25 goals in like 31 appearances or something like that. So some person might say, well, why would he be depressed? Why would he be depressed? But if you look down the list, if you start digging, then you'd find out why he's depressed. Again, this guy married a woman that you would consider his boo. Because again, no one wants to marry unless he's like a free-spirited, free thinker, and uninhibited. No dude wants to marry a woman that's like a slut type. That would defeat the purpose. So he married, of course, apparently he married this woman who he thought was marriage material, but based on what he found out, that was not the case. And now, at least at the time, he was depressed. That again, I think his name is Joseph Ilicic. I was wondering if I was supposed to pause the video. So yeah, situations like this, bro. Again, when you're watching football, you should not watch art. This video is for my red pill brothers and persons that want to become red pill. Again, red pill is understanding reality, understanding females, why they do what they do, and how they act. You have to understand that females love power, guys in power, they love the bag, and they're going to get with the guy with the bag. See, there's a term in the manosphere known as hypergamy. Hypergamy, and I think I've said this before in a recent, in a previous, not a pre, was a previous video, but it's a long time last year, previous video. Hypergamy is basically understanding that women date up. They date the guys that are on top of the pyramid. They want to date the creme de la creme of guys. They want to date the guys that are on that mythical physical state scale 8s, 9s, and 10s. They want to go for the 8s, 9s, and 10s. That woman could be looking like the brokest woman on the street corner. She black as a asphalt road. She has a lot of stitches in her face. Her breast might look a chewn out gum, and her waist might look as broad as a football pitch. You see me? But she feels entitled to dating a guy that's on that. He's on the top of the pyramid because he's a professional footballer and he's good at what he does. But here's the thing. There's two sides of hypergamy, and again, I don't want to get deep into this because a lot of guys can't handle the concept of hypergamy. But I'm gonna just touch on it at least briefly. You have the high status / financial / resources side of hypergamy, and you have sexual prowess. You have sexual prowess and resources, high status. Basically, the guys with the most money, the most status on one side, and niggas that has the best dick. That's basically the two sides of hypergamy. With this side, women want this side. Because a lot of women want high affluent lifestyles. They want high maintenance lifestyles. So they want to hook up with this nigga for money. But the reason why out of these athletes get cheated on is because he's not the guy that is high with the good dick. So some of you guys might say, well, why don't women just hook up with the guys with good dick and stop cheating on the guys with the high status and those guys that are have a lot of money, those guys are rich football celebrities? Because the reality is, and this is why I don't want to get deep into it, because I don't think so many guys can handle what I'm about to say. The guys that have good dick, they're not the guys that have a lot of resources. Few exceptions, but the guy is either yin or yang for most of the time. Most of the time, the guys that have the best dick is a guy that is not really on this high social hierarchy. You see me? So that is why the guys in the social hierarchy or in the sports hierarchy like Lionel Messi and so forth. I'm not saying that Messi got cheated on. Maybe, who knows, and it's under the wraps are covered, so nobody's not going to really bring it out like that. But players that are up there, so because they don't have the sexual prowess, but they have the financial prowess. And the guys that have financial prowess, they are not the ones that have good dick, so they get cheated on. So what the women go do is hook up with the guys that have social status, the guys that have a lot of money, have a great football career, that will lead to the female going in a situation where she can get and she can have her cake and eat it too with the guys that have good dick. So she's enjoying the best of both worlds. She cheats with not on, she cheats with the guy that has good dick, and she cheats on the guy that has resources and material possession. That is hypergamy in a nutshell. So these types of things should not surprise you when you find out some certain footballers, because this is the reality, dude. Most of the time, if the footballers or sportsmen or basketballers are getting cheated on, best believe that nigga is not laying the law in bed. He's not laying the law in bed. He's not good in bed. He's not. Unless she's like a nymphomaniac type, or she's like a white liver type of bitch that loves to scratch and itch with other guys around her. Like a nymphomaniac is a female whore. She loves to hook up with other guys just for sex. Even if you give her a good dick, she wants sex elsewhere. That's an nymphomaniac. But few exceptions aside, the reason why females cheat on the guys that have status that are in football, basketball, or most of all just sports is because that nigga is lacking bed sex skills in the bed. Because these women not just go cheat just for the sake of it. You see? And this relates to Ilisic's situation last year. I'm not saying that Ilicic is a sorry sock in the bed. But if, with that being said, if he was good in the bed, what motivation, what ulterior motive would his wife have to just cheat on him? Was he winning an argument? Was he winning an argument? And she was like, since you win an argument, I'm going to cheat on your ass. I'm going to cheat on your bitch ass with a bitch ass nigga. You think that is the case? I mean, seriously, think about it for a couple seconds. You think that's the case? Huh? No. No disrespect to you, Ilicic, but in terms of the social hypergamy status, you have that down pack. You're up here, so you're on cloud 9, isn't me? But on the sexual side, you're on a negative 9 class, isn't it? Because if you were up so, and you were up so, what's your motivation to cheat on you, bro? I know you went through depression, and that's a situation where most guys should not go through. But I'm just giving you the reality of how females operate. Guys who have been dealing with females know what I'm talking about. Guys that got run over by females know what I'm talking about. Women ain't go cheat on a guy that has good dick for most of the time. That's just the reality of facts. Now the next situation, oh, there's this comment by this woman. She was commenting in the comment section of the article with Ilicic and his wife cheating on him. She said, so bad to hear this. There is nothing like a good woman. Think about that for a couple seconds. When she said, and this is a female saying that. This is a female saying that. When she said there is nothing like a good woman. When you hear that, what's the first thing that is creating in your mind? What is the first thing that jumps and lights up that bell, that epiphany bell above your head when you hear there's nothing like a good woman. Because the Bible says, don't get me started preaching now, don't get me to start preach. There's nothing better than having a virtuous don't let me start lying on the Bible. What's the what's the saying again? Oh, he that findeth a good woman finds a good thing. He that findeth a good woman dude. The Bible was written in one different era, right? Where women were supposed to quote unquote be good girls. Suppress them sexual needs and be good girls. Because if they weren't good girls, they would get kicked out of the crib, they would get disowned. So this good girl myth, that is just a myth. That is a social construct and social engineering that failed. Because women, you cannot stop women from being the sexual sluts that they are. They can't. You're like giving them a green light to like cheat on you if you want them to be a good girl. They know good girls out here, so okay? That's number one. The good girls that is out here is in the minority. And the minority is basically domesticated females that were given instructions and domestication from their parents. Hey, close your legs when you find the guy that you're attracted to. Wait until marriage to have sex. And society basically brainwashing her to say, hey, you're a female. Your vagina has value. Wait until marriage to give up that vagina. Wait until marriage to give up that pussy. Don't be a slut out here. So that is the domestication is going to be given. But her biological instinct is to have sex with a lot of guys. That is her biological natural nature. That is her DNA natural nature. Not to have one nigga, not to sleep with one nigga, is to be promiscuous. That's a woman's true nature. So, good women out here, so they know good women out here, so naturally. That's a domesticate. Like, if you see a dog in the corner that's not barking, he hasn't barked since Jesus was crucified. Best believe that dog is domesticated. That dog has been tamed and trained. Same with the female. She has been tamed and trained. She has been tamed to suppress her sexual urges. That ain't natural. Because my thing is this, if it was natural, why would you train someone to tame? I mean, that don't even make no sense. If it's natural, you don't need no training or taming. They would just do it. You don't need to tame a dog to not bark if him not barking is his true nature. He would just not bark. Or she. But the thing is that there's no good female out here. Females will cheat on you in an instance. So given Ilicich's his situation, one can argue that, well, she was an infomaniac type. That could be an argument. But that is like in the minority. The reason why she cheated was because more than likely this dude, and I know I'll go get a lot of dislike. Well, you're a white knight. You're basically blaming Ilich for him getting cheated on. No, I'm not saying that. Because there are a lot of naive guys out here, so I ain't saying that. I'm saying if this situation comes to the surface, that's not something you should be naive of and think, oh well, she just cheated because she was bored. Why would a woman, dude? See, you go get me into trouble because that segues me into another athlete. Of course, you guys know Aisha Curry. That's the wife of the Golden State Warriors hitman called his name Stephen Curry, Stephen Curry, or Stephen, whatever is Steph Curry. Yes, Steph. They call him Steph Curry. She came out with a post either last year or the year before in 2019 saying that she wants attention. She feels that her husband is not giving her attention. So by virtue that she's going to, I think she started posting up some nude pics, some thirst trap nude pics because her husband was not giving her attention. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie. Also, because this is my thing. And of course, we all know that professional footballers, because they have to train, they have to gain experience and so forth. So they're not going to really spend a lot of time with their wives or significant others. So that can be understood. What cannot be misconstrued or mixed up is if you have a female, that's a wife, and she's posting nude pics because she's not getting no attention. That is just that's a lie. That's a lie. Because again, bro, everyone should know that females have attention. That's number one. But the thing is that if she really, and I say this emphatically, if she really cared and respected Steph Curry, she would not be posting those types of. Dude, she said that in the media. She said that in the media. If you were a husband, what would you do? What would you do if your wife say, "Well, I'm not getting no attention from my husband, so I need attention from other guys." What would you do in that situation if you were her or husband? Think about that for a couple seconds. For a couple seconds. See, there's a downside and upside to having being an athlete, because when you're an athlete, you can attract a lot of beautiful sex women. That's the upside. The downside is that a good percentage of those females are not hooking up to be with you, the person. They're hooking up with you because you're in the naked eye, you're in the spotlight, you have status, whether it's on the pitch or in Hollywood. You see me? So, out of females, the ones that don't want to get with you, if they want to hook up with you, basically if they want kids from you because you're going to pay for their kids and they go divorce you, and so you can pay the divorce, whatever, is me, and get run over in court, divorce court. So that is not going to really be a good situation for a lot of athletes if they get married in the prime of their career. That's going to a situation called destruction. Is me. And another thing is this, dude. A lot of you guys need to adapt. This is what professional footballers, professional basketballers should do. They should adopt the Derek Jeter / Cristiano Ronaldo lifestyle. They should adopt the Derek Jeter / Chris. What do I mean by adopting the Cristiano Ronaldo lifestyle and the Derek Jeter lifestyle? You notice that Derek Jeter didn't get married to no female until after he was retired, or in the latter stages of his career. Let me set this straight. When my man was in the time of his when he was playing baseball, he was dating. He was just dating. He was just dating. He was not with one woman. He was just dating. Just dating. Why? Because my man is RedPill enough. No, he might not be hardcore RedPill, but he knows that when a player is in the prime of his playing time, females are going to come his way, and that's going to be number one, a distraction, which I'm gonna touch into a second. Two, he knows that women are going to try to put him in a relationship, like try to commit to them because he's status. Three, he knows that if things go left, if things go bad, he has to pay a bunch of money to the divorce courts so that they can go separate. Derek Jeter knows that. Derek Jeter knows that. So what he does is to just date, mate, without any pregnancy now, but to just have sex, enjoy himself, being a bachelor in the prime of his career. So when I see a lot of young footballers like Anthony Martial, Raheem Sterling getting married, when I see certain situations happening to him, that's not going to have my ire up. That's not going to really tickle my antenna. That's not going to really surprise me because I'm hip to the game. I know what's up. So if I hear that a footballer is getting run over by his woman she's whatever, she's cheating on him, she's she's trying to divorce him. That's not going to surprise me, and it's not supposed to surprise some of you guys. You see me? So with Derek Jeter waited until he was at the end of his career and he went to a situation where he could settle down and have his woman without playing or getting around when he was playing ball. Now Cristiano Ronaldo is somewhat different because Ronaldo is still in what I would call his, I wouldn't say his actual prime, but what we have to say is that he's still on top of the mountain with Messi. He's still on top of the mountain with Messi, but he's not at his best prime. This is me. Because that's a gone all the time type of article. Like right now he's scoring goals. But right now he's not the best version of Cristiano Ronaldo. We all know that. Because my man cannot dribble that well as previous years, as comparison to previous years. His free kicks rates has been very poor. He knows it. And his overall game has not been as good as before. Is me. So then again, Ronaldo is not the best Ronaldo, but he's still on top of the tree. You see me? But the thing is that if you go through Ronaldo, he has never been married. Never been married. Never been married. Maybe he came close, you see me, but that it was not spoken into being. It was never a reality. So ever since, my man has just been dating. Now he has a woman that he's second on, but you notice that although he's been with this woman for like almost 3 or 4 years, if not 5 years now, because he started dating her in fall of 2016, so it's been on a routine ever since for like almost 5 years. Is me like 5 years now. You notice that this dude is not even proposed to his girlfriend. And they've been together like for almost 5 years. You know, in a committed relationship for almost 5 years. Ronaldo understands females like Derek Jeter. He understands females. Now, whether those women are making their own money, that's not the point. Is me like that Russian chick he was dating, she was making decent money. She's a model. She's a beautiful model, by the way. But let us just honestly say that my man didn't want to put the ring on it. He didn't want to look in the eye of this guy and say that she was the apple of her eyes. The apple of his eyes. Because he didn't want to be misled. Because you understand that females can rip your money to shreds. They can divorce you. If they get what they want in the marriage. If they believe that there is no spark to look forward to again. They just split it like business partners and just go separate ways. Females know that. Ronaldo knew that. So now that he's even in a relationship with a girl that's like I think she's like 24, 25 right now. My man is not going to settle down with her. Because Ronaldo has dated a lot of girls. Let's be honest, Ronaldo has dated a lot of girls that when they came to a certain age, you just dump them. He just dumped them like yesterday's tissue. Particularly if she's coming to the age and stage of being like 27, 28 or 29. Him just go ghost them. Him just put them aside and say, baby, I enjoyed our time together, but you have to go the road. You have to go up. You have to go down there, so it's me. So Ronaldo understands like Derek Jeter, and that is what a lot of young modern players should understand and adapt. When you're in your youth or your career, and again, I'm no person that has a depth of credibility because I've never been a professional athlete, but I am RedPill, and I've seen things from my experience with females, so I know what I'm talking about. If you allow them, if you are with them, and you are a professional footballer that's on top of the pyramid, smiling, giggling, drinking coconut water, think that you're the king of all that, just understand that the likelihood, hold on, let me pause this. Okay, the likelihood of you getting cheated on or getting run over or being led on, there's a likelihood, there's a probability it might happen. You see me? So you have to be cognizant of that. Certain situations should not surprise you. Like for example, Maxi Lopez was with this girl when he was at hold on, let me check. When he was at no, him and Icardi used to play football together at one club. And Icardi basically took his bitch and he made her his bitch. That's what happened in the situation. And this is where I'm going to get at it, bro. There is no man code. There is no men. I'm talking to men right now, and some of you women out here, because I know you all want to watch my videos because you're intrigued by what I'm saying. So I understand that. But there is no man code with a lot of us guys when it comes down to getting vagina. No man code. No man code. If you have a best friend and that best friend's girl is throwing the pussy at you, and you haven't hit no pussy since Jesus was crucified or whatever, you go try hit it. Unless you're like a loyal, royal type of best friend. It's me. But if you're not that type of guy, most of the times you have no man code. No man code. Because Maxi Lopez and Mario Icardi were quote unquote good buddies. Until Maxi's girlfriend came into the picture and she started taking pictures with Icardi. And Icardi said, hey, you go live with me now, you know. Screw that nigga. He ain't going nowhere. I'm going on top of the pyramid in terms of my football career. And by the way, you're going to be my football agent. How is that? I said, okay, I'll bite. So, and he got cheated on Maxi Lopez. He got cheated on. So it's a football jungle out here, so bro. It's a football jungle out here. So no one is like teaming up. Not even if you're best friends is going to stop a female from cheating on you. That ain't going to stop anything. Which leads me to another situation. Ryan Giggs. This dog barking. Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs is probably one of the best Manchester United players and one of the best players to ever grace the Premier League. You see me? But my man had a moral, had a lack of man code off the field because my man has been banging his brother's wife for a good amount of time. And ever since it's created negative tension between he and his brother and also his own mother. There's no man code when it comes down to pussy, dude. A lot of guys don't have man code. They might say it, but they don't enforce it. They don't enforce it. So, the thing is that watching, like people saying the reason why Ryan Giggs slept with his brother's wife is because, you know, Ryan Giggs didn't have no love in his life. And you're basically endorsing him to sleep with his own brother's wife. Ryan Giggs had I think he had a wife at the time. But I think he still have a wife, but that's his second wife. But the thing is that he had a first wife at the time. That doesn't give a nigga the green light to go sleep with his own biological brother's wife. His own biological brother's love of his life. That don't give him no green light, bro. And that goes to show you that in terms of hypergamy, so a lot of persons, like I just mentioned about hypergamy, the reason why Giggs was not supposed to. The reason why Giggs slept with his brother's wife was because she saw that Giggs was a professional footballer and he played for the biggest club in the world, Manchester United. So she wanted to be united with Giggs in bed. She wanted to get some of that United dick. That Wales dick. You see me? And she did get some of that Wales dick for a good while too. So they were having business in bed for a good while. You see me? But the thing is that Giggs was on the social, the pyramid. Well, one could argue that he was on the sexual pyramid as well. Because it happened for a good while. And ain't no female go have sex with a guy that is lackadaisical, lethargic, and lazy in bed. With one attempt and she finds out about it, she's gone. She's gone. But if she's continuing doing it, definitely if you have like a lot of money, yeah, I'll continue to cheat on my husband for you, Ryan. I'll do that for you. But my man got cheated on. And it goes back to hypergamy. See, females go do, they always be, that woman could be like a 2, 3, or 4 on her best day. But she want to hook up with a dude that is doing decent in terms of business, basketball, or football, and hook up with a guy that is, up in the clouds. She could even be the ugliest female to walk planet Earth. But she feels entitled to date a guy up here. This is me. So this I mean, look at John Terry, dude. John Terry, his own football teammate partner, which was Wayne Bridge. My man was banging his own teammate's wife on the side. On the side. So a lot of persons think that it's John Terry's fault that he slept with. No. Because the thing with sex is that there has to be a mutual agreement between the both parties. The female and of course the male, because the male wants to bang her. But the thing is that she has to agree to make that happen. Males are the gateway to relationship. Females are the gateway to sex. Meaning that it's going to take a woman's decisions for her to open her thighs, to open her legs. Ain't nobody go, well they can, but ain't nobody go force her legs to go against her will if she says no. So what you can argue and say that she gracefully gave it to John Terry. Because not only was she playing on John Terry's hypergamous status, but what you have to understand was that John Terry was the captain at the side. The captains of football side is always the alpha. He's always the alpha. So when you're a leader of men on the football pitch of your side, and your partner who is differential to you because you're barking orders on the field now, because Wayne Bridge play left back, John Terry plays centre back. So when he's telling John Terry, when he's telling Wayne Bridge to come back and not go forward, he going to say, okay, I'm going to come back and not go forward. And if his woman is watching the game, he say, oh no, I'm going to give John Terry some pussy. I have to give John Terry some, because what you have to understand is that it's in a woman's instinct to sleep with an alpha. Is me. Whether it's a contextual alpha, to use Roy Thomas's terms, there's an apex alpha, contextual alpha. Contextual alpha is alpha, the dominant force in a group. Now, that's not him being the alpha himself. He's just, like for example, a pastor is a contextual alpha. A teacher in a class is a contextual alpha. Outside the class, he could have been an average Joe Schmo. But in the class, he's the alpha. That's basically the alpha. So she slept with John Terry. Now, people want to blame John Terry, but you need to be blaming the female for sending the dude a sexual email to John Terry. John Terry is just saying, okay, she wants to give me some pussy. I'll have it. I'll have it. I ain't go back down from that. So again, bro, there's no man code by saying, oh, you're my bro and it's bros before who was. Screw that. If a nigga hasn't had his dick wet for like 2 years, he can go get it elsewhere. He can go get it somewhere. Believe that. Believe that he's going to get it somewhere. And his hand is, his right hand is not, well, this is not right hand. Well, this is my right hand, but on the screen doesn't look like the right hand. It's my left hand on the screen, but his right hand is not going to do the job with no Vaseline lotion. That ain't going to do the job itself. You see me? So, the thing is that a lot of professional athletes are getting fought over. I know this is a lengthy video podcast, but I have to flesh out some stuff. A lot of footballers, a lot of professional athletes are getting fought over. Because they have money, they have status, they have authority. You see me? And a lot of players are going to get through, a lot of pussy, a lot of athletes go get, like, let's say Magic Johnson, or Will Chamberlain say in his book, and again, I didn't read this book, but I heard someone say it, so I guess I have to reiterate what the person said. Do you know that Will Chamberlain has slept with over 20,000 women in his life? I think he said that in a section of his autobiography. My man slept with over 20,000 women. And he was, of course, he was an athlete. I mean, let's say that was a lie and say it was probably 10,000. That's still a lot. Even 1,000 is a lot. Even 1,000 is a lot. But my nigga slept with over 20,000 females because he was an athlete. So the fact is that here you go get a lot of females coming your way. You see me? And my man was good enough to not second down. He was just sleeping with them. But the thing is that if you want to second with one of them, and she's not like a manipulative female, like she don't want to just hook up with you and just dump you like a Black Widow spider, because there's a lot of women that are like Black Widow spiders. The nature of a Black Widow spider is to mate with the spider, and then after mating with the spider, you go kill the spider. That's what that's what a Black Widow spider does. That's what a Black Widow spider does. Mates with the male and kills the male after him sending her some semen email in her pussy. You see me? So that is what happened afterwards. So, I mean, look at Kendall Jenner, bro. Again, I some of you guys might not know this, but back in the day, I used to have a big crush on Kendall Jenner. You see me? And she's not even my prototypical type in terms of physical. You see me? Like, she doesn't have the vast type of shape. Isn't it? But I guess I have a thing for pretty faces. But she even said this last year that she was throwing the box at a lot of NBA players. Dude, this is what you guys need to understand. When you're up here, so it's a good thing that you're going to, if you're good at your game, but that is, I'm not saying that if you're like a baby type of player, you go get this type of, this type of attraction or this type of invitation. I'm not saying that a woman want to have sex with a baby type when he's not even good at what he does in the sports world. I mean, that would defeat the purpose. So, Kendall Jenner was saying she was going to give the box to a lot of NBA players. Like, she was going to be passed around like it was the dinner plate. Being passed around the dinner table like it was the last supper of Jesus Christ. You see me? Like, it was the last communion. Like, passing around the bread so everybody can be fed. You see me? So, all of this, I mean, I was just talking about Kendall. Look at the Kardashians, bro. And this is where I'm going to wrap up. The Kardashians, you know what is, most of the guys that the Kardashians date are like in basketball. In basketball, like, let's say for example, Kim Kardashian. It said that she has divorced Kanye West, right now. But that's not the point. In her second marriage, she married a guy named Chris Humphries. She married Chris Humphries for less than 80 days, like 72 days exact. And she said that she was afraid that her status as a celebrity would be over. So that's why she divorced Chris Humphries after 72 days. Think about that for a second, because again, in terms of the status, the social status on hypergamy scale, is he up there, so? Yes. But if you're giving good dick, why would she leave you, bro? And again, so you're not, again. But I don't know why I do this video podcast, because I know some of you guys ain't ready for this. But then again, bro, I want you guys to understand how certain situations in the naked eye, in terms of sports, in relation to females, it just doesn't happen just because. There's a certain reason why it happened. These divorces happen because these females were not attracted sexually to the athletes. They weren't. We can slice it or nice it any way you want to, but they were not. They were with those guys because of those guys' money, material possessions, and financial generosity. That's the reality. Not because the guy was giving good dick. That's not the reason. They wanted, see, that's why some persons say in the naked eye that if you're a sports person or if you're an athlete, you shouldn't hook up with any Kardashian, because the Kardashians have a tendency. I was just talking about Kepa. The Kardashians has a tendency to downgrade and diminish a lot of players' career. Like, I don't think Chris Humphrey's career was the same prior to him marrying Kim Kardashian. He kind of went into the dumpster a bit. It was probably decent, but it wasn't as good as before. And that's my take home note to you guys. That think you being you being a sports person is going to win everything with women. Women will cheat on you even if you have all of that money. Isn't me? So, as I close this video podcast, like and subscribe to the channel. I don't want this video to be longer, bro, because I have a lot of things to flesh out, but I don't think you guys can take it at one time. I might give you a tablet to take with some water. Is it me? Just slowly so it can simmer down and it can be absorbed in your system. So I don't want to give you all the buffet. I want to give you the appetizer first and the veggie salad first, so you can digest first. Is me? So like and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below. Don't be naive to these situations in football, bro. There's always a motive. There's always a reason. Is me? Always a reason. And with that being said, I'll show to you guys tomorrow. I'll be doing a match reaction for the Chelsea game. Show to you guys later. Peace.